Every town has a place where they treat people like me. It's cold, it's creepy, and it's completely white. Anyone who ended up in there came back empty, and much as I'd love to forget it, I was in there too, but not as a patient, as one of the ones who takes everything bright and alive out of the awakened. I saw things no person on this earth should ever have to see. If you end up in there, you're lucky if you get off with just the pills. But if your awakening, your NOETA, is stronger than that, then a worse fate is waiting for you. The Wade was waiting for my close friend, the one who ended up in that place because of me. Ever since I was a kid, I understood there are rules in this world you've got to follow. Don't stand out, stay calm, and don't talk about strange things. And I stuck to them, right up until the moment Roni showed up in my life. If I had to describe him back then in 2 words, I'd say idiot and motor mouth, because he'd blurt out every single thing on his mind. The whole university hated him. Every last person, the second they spotted him from a distance, would spin around and hurry off to take care of something. And you're about to get exactly what I mean.
So get this, I'm frying up some eggs for breakfast this morning, and then my phone rings, and it's a number I don't know. So I pick up anyway, and turns out it's my aunt. So we're talking and talking. You want some gum, by the way? So anyway, my eggs end up burnt to a crisp.
His yammering didn't stop for a second. It was like he was scared of what would happen if it went quiet.
But after what happened in that building, he got quieter, more timid, weighing every word before he said it. Sometimes I miss that version of Roni, and I blame myself for what I did. But you can't change the past. Back then, the 2 of us got close. I think I was the only one who could tune out that stream of thoughts of his, and it mattered to me to be there, because I could see the creature standing behind him, the one I named NOETA, and it was like it was fighting with everything it had not to fall back asleep. The fire in him burned brighter than in the rest, and I wanted to wake someone for the first time, but I wish I never had. Honestly, I can't even remember how it happened. All I remember is that I took him deep into the woods, so no one could see us. And then, bang! And the NOETA behind him came to life. And Roni himself was in total shock. On the way home, he couldn't believe it for the longest time that we've existed on this planet for tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of years, and that there are 12 who keep every human being locked up. We went off to our own rooms, and I was out cold in an instant, and the next day, I slept through all my classes. And that evening, when I stopped by Roni's to find out the homework and how he was doing, he's not there, but his roommate told me what happened. And since that day, I still regret that I didn't say just 3 words to him before I left. 3 words that could have saved him and me. Don't tell anyone. That's all it would have taken from me, just to say those words. Then he'd never have ended up in there. He'd never have become who he is now. But back then, I still had no idea what goes on inside that building they took him to. So I had to piece together scraps of information from everyone he'd had contact with that day. Hardly anyone knew where he'd disappeared to, but a lot of them said the headmistress had taken him in for some kind of talk, and after that, nobody saw him. And all anyone knew was that he'd been sent off for treatment. Back then, our town only had 2 hospitals. One where they treated physical injuries, a normal one, and the other one everybody steered clear of. The mere sight of it filled you with dread and a sense of hopelessness. But what I saw inside was so much worse.
At the first hospital, they'd never heard of him, and it was immediately clear to me I'd have to break into that place somehow. I didn't have a better plan than dressing in black and trying to sneak in at night. You won't believe it, but it worked. Except there was one thing I hadn't accounted for. Seeing as it was my first time inside, I remember it like it was yesterday. Every wall was absolutely white, and against them, I stood out like a black ink blot on a canvas. And wouldn't you know it, a shadow appeared from around the corner. One that definitely wasn't supposed to run into me. I bolted through the first door I found and ended up in the perfect room. It was the staff locker room, except every locker was padlocked shut. I don't remember how long I spent trying to crack them with random number combinations, but I finally got one open. I changed, put on a mask, and headed for the front desk. I needed to figure out which wing of the building Roni was in. But while I was still trying to work out where to go, I heard screaming, and I wish I hadn't gone toward it. I eased the door open, looked inside, and saw something that will never leave my memory. A man was strapped to a chair, and the so-called doctors in there were going into his brain. Through his nose was some kind of device that was pumping fluid inside, and I watched his NOETA drop from wide awake, instantly drained, and back into sleep. It was pure insanity, and every room after that was exactly the same. In that building, they were suppressing everyone, trying to force them back into sleep, back into an obedient little dog.
I moved down the corridor, looking into just about every room, and without even noticing, I walked right into the registration area. There was no one behind the desk, so I quickly sat down at the computer and started searching for where Roni was now. Every day, dozens of the awakened come through here. I wanted so badly to save every single one, but for most of them, it was already too late. So in that moment, I focused on Roni. I found where he was and how to get there fast. Then I felt this heavy stare land on me, with a hint of danger in it, almost like when I was a kid. I really shouldn't have looked in the direction it was coming from, but I fall for it every time.
I turned around and saw a very sweet-looking girl.
But I saw her true nature.
She clearly wasn't one of the ordinary people. Her NOETA was more like my grandmother's, and she was definitely tied to the Order of the 12. So I needed to get out of there, fast. But she latched onto me with her strange questions, ones I couldn't answer, and her gaze was aimed like it was fixed on the figure behind me. Does she see it too? I thought right then, and a shiver ran through my whole body. And the second I took a step back, she hit a button, and an alarm went screaming through the whole building.
All patients remain where you are. There is an intruder in the building. Seize him immediately.
I didn't have much time to think, and I bolted straight for the stairs. Roni was on the second floor, room 12, but the moment I got to the stairwell, there was already a crowd running up from below, and I could see more people scanning for me from above. Right then, I was trapped, but there was still a shot at reaching Roni, so I rushed up to the floor, ran through the door, and started frantically searching for room 12, and it turned out to be at the very end of the corridor, and the footsteps on the stairs were getting closer and louder. Every second counted now, and I made a break for the room. But the moment I opened it, I saw Roni's NOETA fading, and before I could even make a move, they were on me, like they'd been lying in wait, and knocked me out on the spot with a stun gun. What happened next, I only know from Roni's account. How much of it is real, I don't know, but it saved the two of us for sure, and here's what he told me.
That day still comes to me in nightmares. People already didn't like me at uni, but if I'd known people could be that heartless and cruel, I'd have kept my mouth shut about everything that happened to me. After I woke up, I couldn't sleep the whole night. It was so hard to accept that this isn't my first life, that everyone's the way they are now, just because this Order of the 12 wanted power over everybody. And by morning, I couldn't wait any longer. I started telling everyone the truth, who we really are, but every single person I talked to looked at me like I was insane, and only the headmistress believed me. But God, was I wrong to think she'd be on my side? She invited me into her office so no one else would hear us, and she poured us some tea, and I tried to explain to her who we really are. And she looked at me with a smile and just went along with it. I should have been on guard right then, but I was too trusting. So after one sip, I passed out. And the next thing I remember is coming to on some kind of cot. It was like the ones at the dentist's. There was a bright light shining on me, and my head was splitting. People in masks were rushing around above me, arguing hard, but it was like they were speaking some other language. I couldn't understand a word. And after that, they forced some kind of pill into me, and I don't remember anything else. It was like I turned into some kind of vegetable that couldn't move, couldn't think, and honestly, I had this feeling I was even drooling at times. I don't remember how long I was in there after that. Don't remember what happened once I took the pill, but I remember clear as day the moment Eli came bursting into the room. I was happy he'd come to save me, but scared at the same time because they'd knocked him out with the stun gun, and it was like the same fate was waiting for him as for me. They tore his mask off in an instant, but what happened next, I'll never forget. Eli threw everyone around him off in a single motion, and his eyes rolled back like they'd gone way past their sockets. It looked like something was controlling him, something with the power of telekinesis. He shut the door right away and crushed the lock on it like it was kids' modeling clay. And then my brain shut off, and the last thing I remember is him jumping out the window with my body.
That morning, I came to under a bridge. Roni was lying next to me, unconscious, and outside it was already getting light. The night before felt like a dream to me. But one thing was clear. In that building, they suppress everyone who's awakened, and the pills they were giving Roni do something to the NOETA. And if those don't work, then some kind of fluid comes into play. God, how these monsters do not want to bring life back into this world, back to people. But this time, I remember how they destroyed me, and I won't give them another single chance to suppress all of humanity.
While I was still thinking about what we should do next, sirens started up across the town, broadcasting what Roni and I look like and calling out our names. And that's where the point of no return began. Now we'd have to get out of this town and go into hiding, because they could be lying in wait for us anywhere. I woke Roni up and told him my plan. We had to sit under that bridge until the dead of night, with no food and no water. Most of the time we slept and got our strength back. And after that, we set off. Luck was clearly on our side back then. We didn't run into a single soul. But to get out of the town safely, we had to move through the sewers. The one thing that wouldn't let go of me. Could that girl really see the NOETA the way I can? But that wasn't the last time we'd meet, unfortunately.